All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today we are doing Coffee with a Counselor. Unlike the past Coffee with a Counselors that are held on Wednesdays and Fridays, today we're coming at you live with a special Coffee with a Counselor graduation edition. So for the next couple weeks throughout the month of May, which happens to be Mental Health Awareness Month, we will be coming live to you on Tuesdays and Thursdays to talk about the ever-changing landscape of our seniors' graduating year, as well as the challenges that they're facing and the challenges that their supports, whether it's parents, guardians, aunts, uncles, just anyone in a senior's life that wants to support them, the challenges that they're facing as well. For parents, it might be their own personal challenges, or it might be struggles in helping support their seniors through all of the changes that are going on. And so today we get to start this exciting series. So go ahead and grab a cup of coffee, tea, hot chocolate, whatever your drink of choice is. Today I'll be drinking some cold brew along with you. I would be lying through my teeth if I said I didn't practice pouring coffee in front of my phone multiple times this morning to not spill everywhere. But thankfully you don't have that pressure, so hopefully you have an easy pour. And go ahead, get your drink, get comfortable, and let's go ahead and start our chat. So today, specifically, we're going to talk about grief and loss. And the grief and loss that our seniors are experiencing at losing a lot of their major milestones. In a lot of ways, our entire 12-year educational career builds up to our second semester senior year. From the moment that we walk into kindergarten, even though we don't know it in that moment, that is the first step we're taking towards our diploma. And so every educational step we take for the next 12 years from that first day in kindergarten until we graduate with our diploma is building up to this time. So much happens our second semester senior year. For some seniors that are involved in theater, we think about their senior performances. Their theater performances, all of the blood, sweat, and tears that go into costume, makeup, set designs, memorizing the scripts, practicing the choreography. You think of the cast parties and all of the traditions that the seniors participate in. For others, it might be senior sports night, varsity and lettering ceremonies. For some, it's senior ditch day, which many seniors may already have had planned. Where are you going to go out to eat? What are you going to do with that glorious day not at school? For some, it's planning the perfect senior prank, finding something that walks that line between just barely okay, but still a really good prank, but we're not going to get in trouble for it. We think of our senior prom. Many seniors have already spent a lot of time and money finding just the right outfit, the perfect dress, the perfect suit, that tie that matches our date's outfit, making sure we get the right corsage, the right dinner reservations. And then, of course, all of these moments, all of these milestones build up to that cherry on top, our graduation ceremony. The day that we hear our name called and we get to walk across the first half of that stage as a high school senior, we get to accept an empty diploma sleeve. We get to beam out at our friends and our family and our teachers and everyone that has supported us to this point, and they get to beam back at us. And then we get to cross the second half of that stage as a graduate. These moments, these memories, these tangible experiences of pride and accomplishment and victory are things that you, our seniors of 2020, have lost. When we talk about loss, we talk about grief. And a lot of times when we bring up the topic grief and loss, our minds immediately jump to death. And we overlook the fact that we grieve the loss of experiences, that it's not just the loss of people. And in a lot of ways, you seniors, you are experiencing a death. You are experiencing the death of your senior year, of what it should have been, and of what it could have been. In talking about grief, we sometimes talk about the stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. When I think of denial, I like to think of the little kid that's scared of the shadows in the corner of their bedroom at night, and they pull the cover over their head, and we think, if I can't see what's scary, it's not actually there. So when we think about denial for losing our senior year, think about, it's not too late. They could still have graduation. It's not really canceled. When we think of anger, sometimes it's being angry at someone in specific. You might be angry at the school. You might be thinking, how dare they cancel my prom? My prom. You might be angry with your parents or with the government or with the universe itself. Sometimes our anger directly ties to the loss that we're experiencing. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we're just really irritable and we're really cranky. And if our sibling just breathes wrong one more time, ooh, we're ready to lose it. Bargaining is making a deal. It might be making a deal with the universe or a higher being or religious figure or the school or your parents. If we can just finish school in person, I swear I'll go to every single one of my classes. I won't ditch anymore. I won't be late. I won't sneak food into the back. I'll do all my homework. I will be the picture-perfect student if we can just go back. If we can have our graduation ceremony, I'll get up on time every day. I'll do all of my chores. I just want to be able to graduate. Depression, like anger, can be directly related to the loss it might be when we open our closet to get dressed in the morning and we see our prom outfit hanging in the back. Or it could be completely unrelated, that just throughout the day we're just hit with this wave of depression, and out of nowhere we just feel so hopeless and helpless. And we ask ourselves, what is the point? If I don't get a ceremony, if I don't get to celebrate with my friends, if I don't get to tell my teacher that's mentored me my entire high school career in person that I got accepted to my dream university, what's the point? Lastly, we talk about acceptance, the idea of not necessarily being okay with the loss, but being at peace with it, having an understanding with the loss. The stages of grief are not a linear sequential process. We don't get on the grief train at denial, get back on, get off at anger, get back on, get off at bargaining, all the way through to acceptance. Some people experience every stage for a really significant, prolonged amount of time. Some people go through them quite quickly. Some people bounce around, and some people don't experience every stage. It's important that we remember and we acknowledge that there's not a right or a wrong way to grieve, and that it's so important to honor and respect what your grieving process is and what it looks like. We don't want to compare the fact that we can't hear the word prom without bursting into tears to our friend who appears to be stoic and completely unfazed by all of this change. Because both of those reactions are acceptable and okay. When we're grieving, we start to ask ourselves questions. And we ask questions because we want answers. Because in the back of our mind, we think, if I can pinpoint what caused this, if I can say, aha, this right here, this is what the cause is, it'll be easier to process. But unfortunately, the questions that we start to ask ourselves open the door to a slippery slope of really negative and harmful self-talk. We start to ask ourselves, why me? Why my senior year? What did I do to deserve this? The most true and simple answer that I can give you seniors to that question is nothing. You did nothing to deserve this. This is not some grand scheme of karma that the universe cooked up because you stole your friend's fruit roll-up out of their lunchbox in the 3rd grade. You did nothing. So instead of looking to place blame, whether it's on others or ourselves, what can we do? How can we respond to all of this loss and all of this grief in a way that doesn't tear us down? One option is we talk about radical acceptance. We talk about the idea of radically accepting our reality for what it is. We talk about acknowledging what is going on in the world and how it's impacting us. I want to be clear and distinguish the fact that when I say acknowledge and accept, I do not mean agree. You do not have to agree with what is going on. You do not have to say, this is okay, I can get behind this. We're simply acknowledging this is my reality right now. And it's okay if your reality right now really sucks. When we accept our pain, we open the door to coping. Whereas by judging our reality or fighting against what it actually is, we create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. That suffering takes the form of anger, resentment, and bitterness. And we take those things out on ourselves, and we take those things out on the people closest to us. So rather than creating that suffering, by accepting our reality, we create the opportunity to breed empowerment for ourselves. Empowerment in the form of problem solving, healthy and effective coping, the choice to make changes. When we think about the world is happening to me, we strip ourselves of all of our power, all of our autonomy, because we can't change or control the world. So what on earth could we possibly do to make a difference? However, if we shift that mindset to this is what is happening in the world, how am I going to respond to it? We create that power because we can control ourselves. And we can control how we respond to it. We can choose to engage in healthy and effective coping. When I say that, some of you seniors, you might be thinking, I don't really have any coping skills. I don't really know how to cope. I really don't know how to cope healthily. And so as we think through those, one of the things that we will dive more in depth into next Tuesday is coping skills. Not only for the grief and loss of losing our major milestones, but also for our other life challenges. How do we establish basic self-care so that when things like this come up, we know how to respond in a way that takes care of us, that feeds our soul, that builds us up, that helps build others up with us. rather than allowing ourselves to sink into this despairing grief cycle that feels like it has no end. So like I said, that's coming to us next Tuesday at 12:30. If you want to join me again at 12:30 on Thursday, we'll be talking about grief and loss from the parent and support perspective. And I really appreciate all of you taking a break with me today. We hope to see you back for another coffee break, whether it's for the graduation edition series or just our normal coffee with a counselor on Wednesdays and Fridays. In the meantime, take care of yourself and each other, and know that we at North Range are here to help. If you or someone you know is experiencing a behavioral health crisis, please do not hesitate to reach out to our crisis response team. You can reach them by phone at 970-347-2120 and press 2 to speak with crisis services. You can text TALK, T-A-L-K, to 38255. Or you can walk into our 24/7 crisis services building at 928 12th Street in Greeley, Colorado. Thanks for your time today, everyone.